welcome back. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'm going to start a journey on building a mega city. But the first part of that is getting a city or a town to a stage where it's sustainable. So therefore you can go off and build your mega city. So a few people in the comments have said how they haven't worked out the mechanics of building a small town. So this is what this video is going to show. How to build a small town of about 20 odd workers and get that sustainable until a point where there's lots of food, there's lots of water, there's lots of wood as well, firewood, so you can go off and plan your mega city. So the next video will show the planning of a mega city, but this one is all about getting a town of about 20 people working and being sustainable. So we'll go through those mechanics. As you can see, this is a saved game I took from a while ago. I haven't got a builder's hut, not up to that level yet. Don't have a fishing hut, not up to that level either. And nowhere near a tavern for this one. I can't even make iron tools yet, so very bronze tools. So we'll go through what this town looks like. So as you can see, got 22 workers, population about 46. So I have 17 houses, 1 or 2 are empty, so therefore I can bring in someone when my dynasty reputation gets to that next level of 7,500. Extraction. So I've got an extraction shed which I need to fill. Looks like someone's had a baby. So this is the ratios I'll have: 80% stone, because I'll need it to build the next town. Limestone I'm ticking over as well, so I can insulate the buildings of the next town that come in there. At the moment I don't need clay or straw, because I'm not making wine bottles. The mine, I have 3 staff there. Copper and tin, because I'm not up to the iron stage yet, but I do want iron slowly ticking over so I can make iron tools when it's available. So at the moment, one of the things I have to do is generate the bronze, so therefore I'll do that by hand. I'll look at when we get to the smithy, we'll discuss that. I've got a lot of copper for some reason, so therefore I'm mining more tin just to balance out those numbers. 1 well, producing water. I don't need water skin, not making it. There's no real point, there's rivers everywhere if you get thirsty, and lakes. Woodshed, logs, and look, I'm making 81 logs a day. Sticks I'll need, firewood's coming from that, so only 25 a day, and planks as well, which I'll need. I've got 2 people in this one because I need a lot of logs, firewood and planks. Hunting. So I used to have 4 in this, but I've downgraded this because they were just producing so much meat. I've taken away dry meat because I don't need it anymore. So they're producing meats, 89 a day, so 14% is fine. Leather and fur, this gets used in the fur boots or the furry boots. Easy to sell, these ones, so therefore I'll get them to make that. And feathers, again, easy to sell. Feathers, a bit of a cash cow. Feathers, when you get to the stage of having a higher level of food production, I'm only going to make cherry pies, which I'll explain later. So your hunting lodge basically doesn't hunt for meat anymore, it only does leather and fur to make fur boots, which I'll explain a bit later. Farm, I got 1 barn. Animal feed's important because I've got animals, and then it'll just tick over the other grains, produce flour, and go through fertilizer for those ratios. Those ratios seem fine for what I'm doing. Farm shed, you will have to do some farming during the peak times. So I've got 2 farmers there. One's pregnant, so I've got to fill that void soon. Fold, only producing wool. I don't need milk. I'm not making anything with milk in it. I've added another goose house because it was starting to fill up. So therefore I'm trying to breed them a little bit more. So this one will be the next one. Both the ratios are the same for both geese house. Eggs 60%, feathers 40%. That's about right for the eggs for two of them. Feathers, easy to sell. Build them up. You make a lot of money selling feathers in your market. And then pigs to make manure. Production, 2 people in the kitchens. So I'm making only these 4 things because I'm still making cabbages, onions, beetroot and carrots. You will have to produce wooden bowls for this one, but they're the ratios. There's only one sort of meat dish in there, or 2, 3. But I'll produce a lot of meat. Sewing huts, produce linen, fur boots, easy cash cow for this one. So just build them up. I only make enough of the fur boots as that you produce. Smithy, as you can see, I'm not up to making iron tools. So one of the jobs I've got to do is produce bronze. So once a season, I'll just produce bronze from tin and copper. So I'll downgrade this one. So one of the jobs I've got to do, and one of the shortcomings of only having 22 people, is you've got to do some of the work. So these ratios aren't too bad. Shovels got to be used a bit more, so does axes and hammers. Pickaxe as well, so therefore now you have to produce the bronze. Workshop, simple torch so people can go around at night. Buckets, wooden vials are easy to sell, easy to make. Bowls you'll need for food. Then I had some leftover capacity, so plates, cups and spoons and ladles, easy to sell, so keep those ratios. I've got one food stall, and if you start worrying about running out of food, just sell something else. Resources are good, feathers, tools, so you can have ladles and spoons, sell them. So as you're producing other things, and if you're worried about selling out, just switch over to a different emphasis. Tools, wine, clothes. So you can just ticking it over each time if you start. And storage, I've got 2 of each, and that's plenty. I don't think I'm even at 50% for any of them. 50%, so heaps of storage. So 2's enough for that one. So that's what a 22 worker town looks like, where it's mostly sustainable to let you off and plan. Some of the fields, and again, this is before I started working in the fields more, so each thing I'm selling has its own plots of land, so it's going to have its own one. So instead of having one bigger field, I'm doing that. With my mega city, I'm not going to have massive fields. I'm going to have 16 by 8 fields. It's more efficient. So instead of having 4 people work on a 16 by 16 field, you can have 4 people work on 8 by 16, and then another 4 people work on the other 14 by 16. So therefore it happens faster. A lot more efficient. You're not going to have people hanging around and then only 4 people, 4 farmers working on one field. Way more efficient having 8 by 16 fields than 16 by 16 fields. And then the orchards, producing just fruit, very small, ticking it over. They will go to rot, but they don't need to be serviced by a farmer. They're automatic. I am producing some hops, just to store the hops because they don't go bad. They'll get processed along the way. The goal is with my food production is to produce only cherry pies. So the mega city will just have sways of cherries and hops. I won't be making any carrots or cabbages because of the hierarchy of food. So if you look at this tab here, you'll see the food items, and this is the priority. So they'll eat cherry pies until they're finished, and then they'll move on to poppy seed pie. Then once they're finished, they'll move into pear tarts. So there's no point of having a varied amount of food because this is the hierarchy in what they eat it in. So as you can see, they'll eat vegetable soup, and once this is gone, they'll move on to stew. Then once all the stew's done, they'll move into cabbages. But if you're producing enough stew, they'll never move into the cabbages stage, and then they'll never move into roast meat. So there's no actual point of producing, say, dried meat, because they'll never get to that stage. If you've got capacity, do it, you can sell it. I'm not letting them consume eggs because I need them to make stuff. So the goal is, and because my villagers demand it, I'm just going to produce cherry pies. From there, I won't need to focus on anything else. So therefore, I won't need cows to produce milk because cherry pies don't need it later. So that's the goal for that one. You can do poppy seeds because poppy seeds last forever. Cherries don't, but why do number 2 when you can be the best and do the first one? My people deserve it. So that's what a city or a town of 22 workers looks like. It's fairly sustainable. You will need some social areas and some community areas just so people can hang out. It doesn't matter too much of the planning for this one because again you will, once you get your mega city up, be knocking all this down. So you won't need walls as long as there's enough common areas, some paths. I've grouped all the production stuff in one area, the farming in another, and houses in it. So again, this is the stepping stone to your mega city. Thanks for the views, like and subscribe, and put any questions in the comments. Thanks.